Welcome to this explainer. Really pumped to have you here. Today, we're going to fundamentally change how you look at money. We're breaking down why true wealth building is actually a physical law of momentum, not some get-rich-quick math problem. If you've ever felt like you're working incredibly hard, but somehow just aren't getting anywhere financially, this is absolutely for you. All right, let's jump right in.
So, let's start with a kind of uncomfortable but totally necessary question. Why are high-earning professionals still broke? We see it all the time, right? Corporate earners bringing in thousands of dollars a month, yet they're stressed, stretched way too thin, and basically living paycheck to paycheck. They upgrade the car, they buy a bigger house with every single raise, and what happens? They stay broke. It's this incredibly dangerous cycle of lifestyle inflation. Sure, a high salary keeps you comfortable, but it definitely does not make you wealthy.
And that brings us to the core difference between active income and asset ownership. Most people are totally stuck in that active income trap, literally trading their finite time for cash. But the truly wealthy, they play a completely different game. They aren't chasing cash, they're building automated cash streams. They focus on acquiring assets, index funds, real estate, scalable businesses, things that produce money while they sleep. Real wealth comes from what you own, not just what you do from 9 to 5.
So the absolute crucial point we really need to establish early on is this. Wealth building is less about the magnitude of the initial move and more about the kinetic momentum of the habit. It's not about winning the lottery or waiting for some massive one-time bonus. It is strictly about what you do consistently, day in and day out, to put your money in motion.
Section 1. The salary trap illusion. Why working hard keeps you broke. Okay, before we figure out how to build momentum, we really have to understand the invisible ceiling that's restricting your financial potential right now. And it all boils down to the number 24. You only get 24 hours in a day. If you rely entirely on active income, your wealth is strictly capped by the hours you are awake and actually able to work. Look, hard work cannot magically scale physical time. Your active income has a hard physical limit. You literally cannot buy more time. So if you're just trading time for money, your financial growth will for sure eventually hit a brick wall.
Section 2. The physics of the snowball. How small money snowballs into millions.
Think about a snowball. Like a snowball rolling downhill, financial progress starts deceptively small and slow, often appearing invisible to the uninitiated. You might put aside $20, and honestly, it feels like absolutely nothing is happening. However, as the mass of your principal increases, the compounding effect begins to roll with unstoppable force. The returns actually start earning their own returns. And that, my friends, is the snowball effect in action.
There's a quote that perfectly anchors our understanding of this whole process. Consistency is the gravity that turns a handful of snow into a mountain of millions. I just love that. You do not need a massive avalanche of cash to start. You don't need 100 grand sitting in the bank right now. You literally just need the gravity of consistent, repeated action to keep that process moving downhill.
But here's the catch, especially around year 1, which we can call the invisible flatline. Building wealth feels incredibly slow at first. And this is the dangerous early period where most people just quit. Basically because the growth feels completely invisible. They panic, they get impatient, they pull their money out. But if you have the patience to let that mass accumulate through year 10 and then year 20, you eventually hit year 30, the exponential vertical explosion. This is exactly where time starts doing the heavy lifting for you.
Section 3. The gravity of consistency. Beating financial friction.
Of course, rolling a snowball is only easy if the path is clear. Now, you might be staring at your bank account right now thinking you have exactly $0 to spare. But please understand that exactly $0 is a perfectly fine place to start learning. Do not wait for a significant sum to start. The most valuable asset you have is the length of the hill, time. Waiting for perfect conditions is honestly the biggest mistake you can make, because every year you delay, you lose compounding gains that you can never, ever get back.
Because there are these psychological friction traps that will quietly destroy your momentum. These are exactly what keep people stuck in that endless paycheck cycle, even as their income rises. Things like waiting for perfect conditions, or inflating your lifestyle the absolute second you get a raise, comparing yourself to your neighbors, buying status items just to look successful rather than actually being successful, seeking instant gratification, and perhaps the most dangerous one of all, relying on fleeting temporary motivation instead of rock-solid discipline.
Section 4. The compound interest force. Time and trajectory.
Now, once you identify and remove those friction traps, you unlock the ultimate leverage lever that the wealthy use to completely separate themselves from average earners. See, the average earner relies on fast money, raw willpower, and these intense bursts of erratic motivation. They always want the quick win. But let's be real. Motivation is kind of a scam. It's emotional, it's temporary. The wealthy individual, on the other hand, relies on automated systems, delayed gratification, and frankly, just boring consistency. Boring consistency outperforms everything else. The wealthy don't wake up and test their willpower every single day. They design automated decision systems so they don't even have to think about it.
Section 5. Automating your financial momentum, setting the system.
Because human motivation eventually fades, and let's face it, we all get tired and emotional, we need to guarantee our consistency by completely removing our own flawed willpower from the equation. By following 3 exact steps, you totally reverse the average flow of money. Most people pay their bills first, spend whatever's left, and end up with 0 savings. Instead, step 1, you need to pay yourself first. Step 2, set up automatic weekly investments or savings transfers the very moment your paycheck hits. Let the system do the saving for you. And step 3, live fully and completely guilt-free on the remaining cash. This makes wealth creation an inevitable, silent background process instead of a daily, stressful struggle.
So the core takeaway from this entire explainer is this. Start rolling your small weekly investments today. Prioritize immediate action over elegant, complicated planning. Even if it's just $5 or $10, taking action kills your financial fears instantly. Start small, but start right now, and let time do the heavy lifting for you.
As we wrap up, I want to leave you with a final thought to really chew on. What is your enough number? You know, that specific point where you can live off your investments and literally never have to trade your time for money again. So, what's your number? And honestly, more importantly, what small, automated habit will you start today to build the inevitable momentum to reach it? Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and go start building your avalanche today.